Hello everyone, in this tutorial I will show you how to insert slicers in Excel. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we need to do is to create a table, a pivot table or a normal one, or even a pivot chart or normal chart will do. Okay, so let's create a table first. To do that, first make sure the selection is within the dataset. Okay, then from the home tab you can go to the styles group and then choose format as table, and then you can select any of the format. Okay, as our dataset has header, so check this my table has header checkbox and click OK. You can also create a table from the insert tab and then from table option. Okay, or use the Ctrl+T shortcut to create a table directly. Okay, header checkbox is checked, click OK, and now we have a table. Okay, make sure the selection is within the table, then you will see the table design tab, and from the table design tab and the tools group you will find the insert slicer option. Okay, you can also find this option from the insert tab and then from the filters group, as long as the selection is within the table. Okay, if the selection is outside of the table, then the uh, slicer option won't be available. Okay, so this error will be shown. Okay, now let's insert the slicer. Okay, see, now you can see the options to insert the slicer. Okay, let's say we want to filter the data set based on the working departments. Okay, you can also insert multiple slicers, but for now let's stick to only one, and we got the slicer here. Okay, you can just drag it around to move it. Okay, you can also resize it using the circles and circles like this. Okay, so let's try the filters. Let's say we want to filter the data for the finance department only. Okay, so the department is finance, IT. Okay, and so on. To clear the filter, you can just use the clear filter icon. Okay, or Alt+C shortcut. Okay, as long as the slicer is selected. Now let's right click on the slicer and go to size and properties. Okay, then position and layout. If you check this disable resizing and moving checkbox, then you won't be able to move the slicer around anymore. Okay, you will be able to select it, but you won't be able to move it around. So this may be useful when you want to, let's say, fix it or do not want the slicer to be moved around. Okay, now let's uncheck this for now, and from the properties group we do not want the slicer to be printed, and here don't move or size with cells means that the size of the slicers will remain unchanged irrespective of the size of the cells. Okay, that means if you increase the row height or column width, the size of the slicers will not change. Okay, and the locked checkbox is for allowing your users to be able to use the slicers even when the worksheet or workbook is protected. Okay, so let's see how to do this. Uncheck the lock checkbox. Now from the review tab, protect the worksheet and make sure that use auto filter is selected. Okay, now enter a password. Okay, confirm the password. Sorry. Okay, now the worksheet is selected, yet we can use the filter. Okay, but one demerit or limitation of this is that your user will also be able to just let's say edit the slicer, okay, or change it as required. So this is on limitation. Now what if you need to delete the slicer or remove the slicer? Just right click and use the remove and the slicer name. Okay, click on it and the slicer will be removed. Alternatively, you can also select the slicer and then press backspace or delete, whichever you prefer. Okay, now as soon as you select the slicer tab will be visible in here. Okay, click on it. You will find the slicer settings in here, the slicer styles. You can choose anyone you like. Okay, and a selection pane will open the selection pane and all the slicer. Okay, list of the slicers. Okay, and from here in the buttons and size groups you will be able to resize the slicer. Okay, now let's say you need or you want these items in the slicer to be in multiple columns, that is not in a single column. Then you can just increase the column number. Okay, so let's say 2 and it will be shown like this. You can just increase the width as required. Okay, you can also change it to 3. Okay, so this way you can edit it however you like. Okay, now let's say you want to add more slicers. Okay, then what to do? Okay, then just shown as before, select within the uh, table, then from the insert tab. Okay, that's oh, we have to unprotect the sheet first. Okay, now from the insert tab the slicer option will be available. Okay, or from the table design tab the insert slicer. Okay, now let's say we want to filter the data set based on country and gender also. Okay, and we get 2 more slicers. Looks good. Okay, let's see if it is working. Let's say the country should be China. Okay, Brazil, United States. Okay, let's say mail. Let's IT, mail IT China. Okay, so all of the slices are working just fine. Now, one demerit of placing slicers like this is whenever you scroll down, the slicers won't be accessible anymore as they are being hidden. Okay, so what to do? How to fix this? Actually, there is no built-in way to do this, so we we'll have to use workarounds to fix this issue. Okay, so let's see how it works. First, we need to insert some rows at the top. So select the top row, then right click on the row number and then click insert, or you can also use control and plus, hold control and then press plus, this shortcut. Okay, if you want to just insert a single row, you can do this and then increase the row height, or you can insert multiple rows, whichever you prefer. Okay, now move your slicers like this. Okay, so let's change the columns to 2. Okay, okay, looks good. Okay, now let's select the multiple. Using control plus selection, you can select multiple slicers at once. Right click, size and property, and just let's disable resizing and movement. Okay, you don't need print object. Yeah, it is working just fine. Okay, now you can just freeze the top 9 rows to, let's say, log the slicers. Okay, then even if you scroll down, the slicers won't be moving because the top 9 rows will be frozen. Okay, so this is the way to do this, but we may also need to freeze the header row. Okay, so that uh, it will be easier for us to read the data. Okay, so let's select row number 11, go to view tab and then freeze the panes. Okay, now if you scroll down, you can see that the slicers are fixed at the top. Okay, but if you move to the right, then you can see the slicers are moving around. Okay, to fix this, there is uh, no particular way. But if your data set is short like this and you have no data to the right, for example, the data ends in here, then you can also fix some columns. Okay, so let's say select this cell and okay, for now unfreeze the panes. Now if we use freeze panes, then the rows above this cell, that is rows up to 1 to 10, and the columns left to this cell, that is column A to G, will be frozen. Okay, so let's see. Now if we scroll down, the top 10 rows are frozen. If we move to the right, the first 7 columns are frozen. Okay, so this way the slicers will be locked in place. Okay, so this is the workaround. If you need it, you can do this easily. Okay, so what else are there? I think I have covered almost everything for this video. Hope you find it useful. Please like, comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.